We laugh, we'll cry, we'll dance, we'll share your pain. Sometimes it rains, but now it's time to gain. Oh, the Debbion project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step. If you watch the show, you'll know everything you need to know. No other can. #1 entertainment show. Subscribe to YouTube so you'll catch it while you're on the go. Where energies flow, building each other, so we gotta grow. Oh, the Debbion project, hosting conversations throughout the nation. You're keeping it locked, don't forget. Doing it together, now we'll take a step.
Welcome, Alicia Amor, to season 2 of the Debbion project.
Hi, Debbion. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure being here today.
No problem. So for those who don't know, Alicia is a singer-songwriter and she's extremely talented. But I want to start off from your grassroots, where you're coming from. So a lot of us, when we're growing up, we want to be daddy's princess, or we're treated like daddy's princess. But for you, you lost your dad at an early age, at 11. Describe to us what was the relationship like between the two of you.
Oh, wow. We're going right in.
Right
The
in.
relationship with my father, yes, as you said, I lost my father between the ages of about 10 or 11 years old. The relationship that, well, you know, at 10 and 11, I'm not gonna have much memories because my father also migrated to the United States of America when I was about 3 years old. So the relationship that I had with him was mostly over the phone. And he used to do real nice things like sending me postcards every birthday with a picture of him, you know, always assuring me that I, of course, was his daughter. He was my father and he would forever be, and he would forever love me. So memories of him, like doing personal stuff with him, are limited, you know, but I definitely can remember him calling me very frequently, you know, and doing things to assure me that he is there as a father. So yeah. The relationship with us, as far as I can remember, was very great, and I am so happy that he did all that he did, you know, to show me his love and affection before he passed on, because now I'm grown and I still have, though limited memories, I still have those few memories to hold on to.
Which is still pretty cool, because it still shows you what to accept or what to look forward to in a man when you're choosing a partner.
Definitely it does help me in that respect, you know, because my father treated me with so much care, you know, he was very supportive, and so therefore I definitely know that in choosing a partner, I am looking for a man that can be supportive and show me care, you know. It definitely did something in that respect, for real.
All right, so having your father migrating at age 3, does this mean that you are raising a single family home with just your mother, or what was that family dynamic like for you in Jamaica?
Well, no, I was not raised with my mom, to answer that question. I actually grew up with my grandmother in an extended family, you know, lots of aunts, uncles, smaller cousins. My mom wasn't really present at the time. She didn't live too far from my grandmother. My grandmother, of course, that I'm speaking of was my father's mom. My mom wasn't too present, yeah, but it was my grandmother, my aunts, my uncles, they all helped in raising me.
So
it wasn't I was a little bit older that I got closer with my mom.
So predominantly you grew up with your grandmother, and
yes.
In Jamaica we have this saying that if you grow with your granny, you will turn granny too.
Well,
What do you say about that?
for me, it's the ultimate opposite. What I can say though, I am grateful to my grandmother for the values and the discipline and the morals that she gave to me. My grandmother is an evangelist. She still is an evangelist, you know. And I grew up very strict. You know, we couldn't do anything. We couldn't go to parties. My entire life was just church, 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 and school. Church and school, church and school. So I could understand why people would think if you live with a granny, you would turn granny too, because my grandmother was definitely raising me like a grandma to be in the future. Yeah, but I can say too, my personality was definitely, I was a little rebel, you know, underneath all of that, because there was a shop next door to me that the guy that owned the shop, he had a big sound system, you know, and we weren't allowed to listen to dancehall music in my household. It had to be gospel music. If we were going anything outside of gospel, it would have to be R&B, like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, those kind of music. But the next door neighbor, he would always blare sounds of you know, Buju Banton, Beenie Man. When him turn on him sound on Friday, it was just straight dancehall music him play from old school dancehall, coming right back up to that time, you know. So I got an opportunity to hear those music through the walls of my home, and that's how I was really introduced to dancehall music. And from there, I kind of knew that, you know, can't wait to get big, to just kind of get more involved, in that type of thing. So yes, she grew me up a little bit strict, but you know, like a rebel did me from them time there.
All right, being the little rebel that you were, how many times did you try to hide from church?
Hide from church. I wouldn't say I tried to hide from church. That's something that I could not do, even if I tried. But I remember trying to wake up in the mornings on Sundays and finding excuses not to go to church. Yeah, not to go to church, but that never worked out, because my granny would have always tell me, no matter what's wrong with me, going to church, the pastor would pray for me. So that never happened. None at all. None at all. Couldn't happen.
I can only imagine how upset she would be when she heard the neighbors playing all the dancehall music. And we being in Jamaica, if it's a shop, then you're going to be blasting that music.
Blast it, man, blast it. You literally could feel the walls shaking. You know, the sound, the bass go boom, boom in the walls. Yes, she was definitely upset. I can recall her terming the music to be boogie yaga music. Can't take the boogie yaga knives in my ears, you know, and attempted many times to call the police, you know, because my area was sort of like a residential area. So any type of disturbance at all, the police would definitely come and try to shut it down or bring a situation. Yeah, but sometimes she was successful, other times, you know,
she wasn't.
Yeah.
That's definitely understandable. I grew up in a community very similar to that. They would always want to have party on the street, even if it's not a party, it's just somebody playing a song. Everybody's going to come outside. I couldn't go out, but they're right. I was at the gate.
And when I went to the gate, if I ever laugh out loud, my granny would have tell me, come upstairs, come inside, because the girl should be seen and not heard.
Ooh, oh wow. Let me ask you this. How did the teachings from your grandmother prepared you for adulthood?
Great question, Debbion. When I was young, I felt like my grandmother was too strict, you know, and that also led to me kind of moving away when I became a teenager, because she didn't allow us the freedom as children, you know, to do much. As much as it was always church and school. However, now being a grown adult, I can definitely tell you that I appreciate all that she had taught me. when I was a child, because it definitely, I can see, I remember when I was younger, she used to have the same where she said, yeah, you're young, yeah, come, you will see. And as I came, you know, I definitely saw a lot of what she was warning us and preparing us for the future. So I think it prepared me a lot to be the woman that I am today. I am very disciplined. You know, I am a woman of value to this day. So I no matter where life leads me, where you have to make certain decisions, good or bad, I feel like the things that she taught me when I was growing up is something that helped me to make good decisions. Yeah, right now.
That's awesome. Having your dad being in America and not physically having him there with you, and then to also not physically have your mom there with you. I know that your grandmother did an absolutely great job raising you. I could tell that from just talking to you now and before, but just not having these two people physically in the home with you. What are some of the struggles that you faced within knowing that, listen, these are the two people I want here with me the most, but physically they're not here with me, or physically they're not able to be here with me? How did that affect you as a young girl?
I can tell you now that it affected me. But the type of person that I was, and I think I kind of still am, just a little bit, I've changed a lot about myself now. I was the type of person that didn't try to dwell on negative. You know, I always try to move past it. I'm the type of person, I'm always looking forward. No matter what is happening, I'm always looking forward. So I never try to focus on the negative. But as I said, as we get older, and we start to realize ourselves, and most of the times we have to look back, you know, from where we're coming from and our past events and things that happened to us in the past, to kind of realize how to fix ourselves in the future. So when I started to have that self-realization, I realized that I felt like I didn't belong. You know, I felt a sense of not belonging, because I used to wonder when my mother wasn't there, why wasn't I with her? You know, because my mother have 5 other kids. She has 6 kids altogether, me including, make 6. And she was raising them, and I was wondering to myself at the time, you know, being young and not fully understanding everything, why didn't she have me? Is it that she didn't love me? Is it that she didn't want me? And I wasn't being told much as a child, you know, as to why the situation is
The way it is.
Yeah, and I wasn't seeing her often either. She wasn't the mother that came and sat with me and said, baby girl, you know, this is the reason why I have to make these decisions, and this is the reason why you're here and you're not with me. So I just always felt like I didn't have a mother. But my grandmother kind of stepped in where that is concerned and kind of just made me feel a little sense of belonging. But I knew my grandmother wasn't my real mom, so I sort of kind of felt out of place not having my mother there with me growing up, to be honest. And as a little girl, I feel like as little girls, we want to have our moms, our parents there with us, you know, because I am now a mother myself, and I have a little girl, you know, and I try to be there for my daughter in every single way. And I realized just being there for my daughter, how important it is for us as women, you know, to be a part of our daughter's life. And I missed out a lot as a child because I didn't have that influence growing up.
I can imagine that, knowing what you went through as a young girl, you try your greatest to always be there for her and not have history repeat itself, because you know what that can do with the development.
And there was a lot of things that I had to figure out for myself too. You know, there was a lot of things that I had to figure out for myself because I didn't have that guidance that I needed from a female, you know. So I grew up just going out on my own and just trying to figure it all out on my own. And I know how hard that is, and doing that can lead you in a lot of trouble sometimes. So for that reason too, I try to be there to guide my daughter. You know, when they get older, they're going to always make their own decisions. But for now, I can instill certain values in her, like my grandmother did, and I can guide her, you know, as I wanted somebody to do for me when I was younger.
What type of great grandmother would you say she is? The same strict grandma she was, or she has loosened up a little bit with her great grand?
Oh, she definitely loosened up. She definitely loosened up, because she now has a lot of grandchildren outside of my great grandchildren, outside of my daughter. And sometimes I go by and I visit them and I see the kids, my nieces or my my cousins. They're in their little body rider shorts and they're around her, and I'm just like, things really change around here. So cause when me did I grow up, me definitely could have not do that, you know?
Right.
And even just the way how they speak. My grandmother was so strict that I used to get beaten for not speaking properly.
Ooh.
Yeah, like patois. If some words like "give me this," "see me ya," "come here," like we couldn't say those things in my household. You're crazy. Would I get crazy lick for it? And that's why even now I speak properly because of that upbringing. Sometimes in Jamaica, I talk to some people and they're just like, why you have to talk like that? And I said, as someone talk. They don't understand. As someone talk for true. You know, it's only when I grew up and I started hanging with different people, I start broke out in the more patois thing and stuff. But I really grew up having had to speak standard English.
Wow.
And that helped me with English though, because I have a good pass tonight, great pass. Yeah, so it helped me too. So
right, because in reading your bio, it was extensive, but it was well written. I'm like, okay, girl, you got some writing
those were
skills
my
going
strong
right
points
here.
going to school. Anything I could do with literature and English. Yeah, so I said nobody had to really write my bio.
Go, grandma. Grandma did her thing.
Huh?
Grandma did her thing.
Yeah, I have to give her gratitude for that, definitely.
All right, so you and I, we have something in common. I was a single mother for a point in my life, and I know that you are a single mother right now, which is very common in our Caribbean society. We have our children as women, and then we have to also keep going by ourselves. How would you say that is going for you?
Okay. The experience of it in the beginning, in the initial stages, very hard, you know, and that is why I like to support single mothers, not just single mothers, but just women on a whole. You know, it's not easy being a single mom, you know, especially when you don't have help from other family members or anything like that. It's just you know, you have to go to work, you have to find somebody to keep the child. If you're not working, just finding the money to find the food and pay the bills and to do everything by yourself, it is extremely hard. I'm just have to say big up to all of the single mothers them out there where I do the thing, because I personally know that it is not easy. Yeah, hats off to, you know, it's not easy, none at all. Right now, presently, it's not as difficult for me because my child's father has found God. I don't know, you know, so he's doing what he's supposed to do now. He's definitely assisting. But before, I know the thing already, before he came back into our lives and it was just me, I'm not telling a lie, Debbion, it was really, really rough. It was really, really rough. That in itself is a whole story by itself. It's a whole story by itself, to be honest. How I do it is only God knows sometimes how I did it or how I managed to do it. But as I say, I'm very persistent. I'm a very persistent person. I'm a go-getter. I'm a hustler. God knows. And also I am God's child. You know, I put God first in everything, and I have absolute faith in God. So whenever I have a problem, I just take it to God in prayer, and I just try to do what I have to do and just leave it to God. And he always helps me get through. So I have to definitely big up God all the way, you know. And I implore every other female that's out there, single mother or just doing it on a whole, always keep God in the midst, you know, because he's the answer, the help, and he's definitely the strength that you need.
Right. All single mothers out there, keep your head up and keep pushing, because if you don't push for yourself and your kid, we all know how it goes. There's nobody that's going to push for
nobody at all. And once you have absolute love for your child, you know, you will move a mountain if you have to. Trust me.
Yeah. Me being a single mother for the first year of my kid's life was very hard. You know, I was working for a TV show in Jamaica at the time, and I was trying to do little different jobs on the side. I lived in a closet in Kingston, and when we say it was a closet, it was a closet. It was a good thing. It was a walk-in closet. So you have like a space. I could have pushed a small bed inside of it. And I had to leave my son at 4 months just to go back to work. You know what I'm saying? And thank God my father didn't show up as a father, but my father showed up as a grandfather. You understand? So I had my mother, I had my father, and I have people are foreign. You know how that go already. When you have people foreign, you get a little...
Well, for me, I don't cut it, but for me, this is where my mother came into play, and this is where my relationship with my mother started to strengthen, because when I had my child, when I tell you I had absolutely nobody there for me, it was my mother my mother came through like a real OG. You know, she probably was not there in the growing up part of my life, but when I became an adult, my mother definitely came through. I remember when I was in the hospital, when I gave birth to my daughter, my mother was there even before visiting time, you know, taking me fruits and talking to the nurses, ensuring that I was okay. When I came out of the hospital and I went back home, I was a young girl, so I basically didn't know anything about babies or what to do or how to even deal with them, you know, and I was literally by myself. And my mother came by my house and she stayed there with me for days upon days, you know, show me how to stretch the baby, how to make the feed, and how to do a lot of those things. And that's when my relationship with my mother really, really, really started to bloom, you know, because I realized that, trust me, if it wasn't for that lady, I remember when my mother left me when my baby was young, and she left me to go back by her house because she said she didn't want to leave her house stranded for so long. And I remember one night, the first night she left me after I had the baby, you know, and I wanted to sleep so badly, and the baby just would not sleep. And I was standing against a wall, Debbion, with the baby on my shoulder. If I bite me, you know, and the little girl would not sleep. This is going to sound very serious, but I'm going to share it with you. I had the baby on my shoulder and I was leaning against the wall, and I wanted to sleep so bad, and the baby just wouldn't sleep. And I used to live on the 6th floor in a high-rise building. And I looked across at the window, and the French windows that open out, and I looked across, and I definitely felt like I wanted to throw the baby through the window.
Oh, wow.
To be honest with you, it was so hard. It was so hard. I just felt like I could not do it. And I remember calling my mother same time. I was just like, I cannot do this. I just cannot do it, you know. And she came back, and it was just her being there with me and just helping me through that situation, helped me to become stronger. And I remember, because I was doing everything by myself, paying my rent by myself, doing everything by myself, I remember I started to get broke, you know, and I was living in an apartment and the rent was so high, and I started to get broke. And I remember one morning I woke up, I couldn't buy anything. I couldn't buy, I found some silver, and all I could buy was a Lasco. And I went up to the Chinese wholesale and I got a pack of vanilla lasco to make feeding for my baby. And the reason why I couldn't breastfeed her is after I gave birth, I started to get sick. And they started to put me on medications, and they told me because of the medications, I could no longer give her the breastfeeding. So, you know, right now, I have to start by the end from that stuff. Yeah, man, one morning wake up, Debbion, I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford it. And I found some silver, went to the Chinese wholesale, got a pack of lasco, and I made it. And as I was holding my baby and I was feeding her, I started to cry. I start bawl. Tears just started to fall from my eyes and just a drop on her, you know. And I looked at her and I said, this is not going to be your life. This is not going to be your life. And I promise I am going to do everything that I can possibly do to make sure that you grow up and you have everything that you want. If I'm a dying breath, I'm gonna make sure say I do that. And yeah, that's when I started to get my shit together, you know. And I had to leave her too, just like you. I had to leave her at about 3 to 4 months. And I got a plane ticket and I fly out, and that was it. And get a little work and start work and send money, come home. And it was hard, you know, separating yourself from your newborn baby. At that age in a completely different country. It's not like say my day at Jamaica where I can go to work and come back home and see her and anything like that. I was in a completely different country, you know, and it was hard for me. It was, as I'm telling you, Debbie, and a whole lot of things like, yeah, that is a story to itself, my journey being a single mother. That's I'm saying hats off
to all single mothers out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Stories like yours is the reason why I have this platform and the reason why I have this show. I've always been in a situation where I've always been writing about having something like this and creating my own documentaries. And when I read it to my peers, I always say, lad, you're sad, or you're sad. So I'm not sad. I'm trying to show that I'm trying to show people that it's not just you that's facing something right now.
No.
Alicia is out there, she's facing something. Debbie's out there and Debbie's facing something. So if you can hear my story, then my story can be a change in your life. So you can know.
Yes, it can encourage other people.
It encourages other people. Right. So it's not sharing.
It can encourage other people. And I don't believe it's sad. I believe what you're doing is a good thing. And I applaud you. Because yes, we're musicians and we're entertainers and we're out there when we do interviews. You want to know about the music. You want to know what's happening with the music, what we're doing, what we're working on and stuff like that. But it's also very important to know about where a person is coming from, their upbringing, what led them to make the decision where they make know what brought them to music. You understand? And that's why I applaud you, because I watch your interviews and I watch a lot of the people that you interview and I hear a lot of the questions that you ask them and their stories are very touching. You know, so I believe that what you're doing is different and you should just continue doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. On the point where you had the baby, right? That's why knowledge is so important. I know someone who was going through it so bad when I was younger, and that woman wanted to flush her kid down the toilet. You understand? I know I was really young, but
so I'm not alone.
You're not alone. You're not alone. She wanted to flush the baby down the toilet because of how stressed she was and the different things that she was going through. Can you imagine, Alicia, how many people out there, new mothers, young mothers, have these thoughts and don't know what this is? They don't know
exactly.
that.
And I remember even my situation when I was going through it, I felt bad. I was like, why am I thinking these things? I didn't understand it. I didn't even know why I was feeling the way how I was feeling. Because prior to having the baby, I was very excited. Because when I was pregnant and my baby father didn't give me any green light to having my child, I made that conscious decision on my own that I would bring forth my child and I would try to do everything that I would do, you know, to be a great mom. So after having the baby, and I remember how excited I was that when I went to do my ultrasound and the lady told me that I was having a girl, I went to the stores and I bought everything pink. When I was in the hospital, they called me Pinky because everything pink, chemise, clothes, bag, my nightgowns, everything I had in the hospital was pink. The nurses called me Pinky. I was super excited to have my kid. So when I had the baby and then I had these feelings, I just couldn't understand what was going on. I didn't even know what to think, and I was very embarrassed. I also didn't want to share it with anybody, you know, because I feel like people would judge me and people would think I'm wicked and stuff like that. And when I became myself, who I am now, I'm just like, you know, when I started opening up about that situation, I realized for myself as well that a lot of people went through that situation. I wasn't alone, and that gave me comfort. You know, that made me feel a little bit better about that situation. I didn't feel so cruel anymore. I'm not gonna say I'm glad I had the experience, but experience bring forth
Teach
wisdom, so I'm
wisdom,
more
right?
knowledgeable about the situation. Yeah.
Right. I understand exactly what you're talking about. For me, I battle with depression. Ever since I was a kid, I battled with depression. So it was a blessing for me that after having my child, I didn't have to go through that. Don't hide who you are as a person. You know, sometimes telling who we are helps somebody else. And that's just the honest
I'm
truth.
learning that now.
Yeah, that's just the honest truth. I understand exactly what you're saying because when I was younger, before I had my kid, I was so quiet and I would bawl about everything and I would not share who I am. You know, my crybaby is my nickname. As some ball as
My
the problem
pillows can
come.
tell you about the tears.
Right,
And
as the
I
problem.
believe one of the reasons why we cry or why we're so emotional about stuff is because we don't really open up a lot. You know,
That's
we
it.
don't really open up. I'm just learning to open up to people. And trust me, it hasn't been long since I've been on that journey of opening up. I've been quiet most of my life. I feel things and I just keep it inside and I just go in my little room and I close my door and my pillows can tell you the story and my walls because I cry. You know, and a lot, and then I am the type of person I cry, I hide my emotions, and then I step back outside with the biggest smile on my face. You would never be able to tell that I was depressed, you know, or I was just bawling my eyes out, you know. So I am just even starting to learn to open up and to talk more about the things that I went through and how I feel going through it. And I realized that it's the best thing that could happen for me, because when you talk about things that you go through, it also helps you to feel better about the situation. It's like therapy, you know. And since I discovered that, I've been making a more conscious effort with myself to open up a lot more about the things that I'm feeling and the things that I've been through, because I realized that since doing that, I am feeling better about myself. It's helping me to close a lot of things, you know, like a lot of bottle up feelings that I have. It's helped, and I feel more free. I feel more free within myself, you know. So, and I feel more liberating, you know. So I think it's good whenever you're having any issues to find somebody to talk to, you know, or talk to God, because even talking to God can help you, you know. You're just
Or
speaking a lot.
writing it down sometimes help as
Or
well.
writing it down. Yeah, it's very important, you know, especially with people that suffer with depression or panic or anxiety, because I also suffer with anxiety, you know. It helps. It helps. I think opening up is also helping with my anxiety. I am not so fearful anymore and stuff like that. So it really does help to open up, speak to somebody, God, or write it down. It really helps. It's very therapeutic.
Right. Remember, I mentioned to you that at the time when I had my son, after having my son, I moved back to Kingston. I was living in a closet and I hardly got to see my son. Sometimes I'd see him at the end of 4 weeks, at the end of the month. That's when I got to see him. So that for me was definitely challenging. And even though it's something I feel like part of me regret, I know that it was necessary in order to take care of him.
It was.
During that, right, during that 1 year, fortunate for me, I met my husband who took me out the closet, you know?
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Hey,
I'm
man, we understand Debbion. We talk, man. We know the
took me
things
out the
we are big
closet.
man. Yeah.
Right. He took me out the
Big up
closet.
your
I
husband too. Big up
pick
your
up a nice clean
husband. Of
husband.
course. Big up your
Right.
nice clean husband.
So we fallen in love. He took my son in as his own. You understand? My son is 9 now, and he didn't know what was the meaning of stepfather until him go school, and the teacher said that to him. You know, but I want to know for you. You said that your partner did not give you the green light to have your child.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward, are you still open to finding love and building a relationship with somebody else?
What a heavy question.
It's heavy, but it's real.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest with you. At one point in time, I just felt like I was not open for that anymore because, you know, after trying with different persons and the relationship failing, I am a relationship type person. So most relationship that I enter into is going to go on for a couple of years because that is me, right? And then after you invest yourself in relationships, when you start to invest in a relationship, of course you're thinking about the future. You're seeing yourself with this person for the long run, and then when trust gets broken and people start disappointing and all of those things start happening, you start to doubt love. You start to doubt, well, me personally, I started to doubt love. I started to feel like maybe this is not for me. Relationships might just not be something that is for me. And so for a long time, I was just on the fence, just having fun, sometimes being celibate. But not tell a lie, enough time I celebrate, enough time I just not bother with nobody at time, I just can't bother. But as of lately, I am more open. I would say I am open because love is a beautiful thing.
It
And I
is.
feel like when we shut ourselves down and shut that out of our life, we become very dark. We become very dark souls. And I just believe that it's always good to take another chance, try again, because as I said, love is a beautiful thing. And when you involve love in your life, it can be so light, it can bring excitement, it can bring glow, it can bring
Yes.
freedom. It's a lot. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
I am definitely open to it. I don't think nobody can put me in that place again where I feel like I would not try. If I'm not up to it at the moment, I'll just stay by myself. But if I find somebody and I feel like things are working out and we're connecting and we're vibing on a certain level, definitely take it slow and go in if it seems right.
Mm-hmm. All right, say you do find somebody, when do you think is a perfect time to introduce a new relationship to your child?
All right, that is something where me very serious about in a Debian. Me not really care man around my daughter. Especially if I know it's a joke thing and it's not a serious thing. I am very, 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 very serious about that. I am not playing no rampage around my child. My child should not see me. I play a room for rent, apply with him with no man. You understand? That should not be the case for me. That is something I am very strict with. You understand? So when I believe it's the right time is when I think that you are sure you and this person are making a commitment, and you see where it's going somewhere, and I believe that you cannot just think about that in your mind until it says it's the right time. A discussion needs to be had with the person, because as adults, if I am dating somebody and he's aware that I have a child, we should be able to have a discussion at some point in the relationship as to where we are and what's the next step that's going to be taken. And so when we have that discussion, if I realize that we're both on the same page, we're going in for the long haul, then yes, I feel like that is a good time for me to Yes, so you're right again. Me little one, yeah, she has step still because she have our father alive and well. But definitely, if you're gonna be a part of my life, you're going to also have to accept my child and love her and treat her with respect.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. I had to ask that question because sometimes women probably move too quickly
Move too
in,
fast, man.
yeah, in
Too fast.
introducing somebody new to
Mm,
their children. Yeah,
Some woman
children
is like that.
lives.
Some woman, as they meet somebody, the people them know them too. And I feel like that's a terrible example to set for your children, whether it is a boy child or
Or
a
a
girl child.
girl.
Because you cannot say, some people have boys and they say, oh, boys are different from girls. But if you display that in front of your boy child, he's not going to have respect for women just the same. He's going to grow up thinking that him can play a room for rent with the girl them same way. You understand? So I think it is very important. If you know you're not serious with the person, don't bring them on your pitney. Wait until you're serious. That's the advice that I will give to you ladies that like to play room for rent in front of the pit of them. Want to stop it, man. It's not a good look. Children live what they learn. You have to understand that. That is something when we grow up and hear, and it is true. I see it come to life many times. Pitney come like parrot. If you say the word batty in front of them when them are 2 and 3,
They
you're surprised
repeat
to
it.
hear them go back and repeat it. Yes, so I don't believe that is something that women should do. If you're not serious about the person, don't get them invested in your life with your child. Keep that relationship separate, and it can be done because I do it. I date people who don't meet my child. If they even glimpse her, there's no introduction, you understand? And if there is an introduction, this is my friend, and that's as far as it goes. And you don't see the person coming around, you don't see them in my house, you don't see them a bed in my bathroom, you don't see them sleeping in my bedroom while my daughter in the next room. That's definitely not going to happen.
Totally agree with you, and well said. But now we're going to jump into the meat of everything. Who is Alicia Amor? Now
Oh,
I know that you were born Cole, but your stage name is Amor. Tell me,
yes.
why did you choose that name?
Amor. Oh my God, Amor speaks to my being, my true being, who I am. Amor is a Spanish word and it means love. And that is definitely who I am. I am a lovely person. I am a lover. I am a giver. I'm just a great person. And when I was looking for a name to put on my social media, I didn't want to use my government name, but I didn't want to change my whole name. So Alicia, of course, is my real name, and Amor came from just me researching something that could use outside of my last name, my government name, and I wanted it to be something that speaks to who I am. And so the word love came to mind, and I wanted to make it a little bit more exclusive. Yeah, so I started looking for the meaning of love in different languages, and Amor came up. It's a Spanish word, and that's how that name came to play.
No, you did something very risky because you decided to jump into your career at the time where the place a mash up with coronavirus, the pandemic just hit us. So describe to us what was that like for you to enter at that time?
Well, wait. I started before that. I was trying to get my foot in this business long before Corona came around. But I guess I started to get real serious about it when the pandemic hit. What the question is, what was that like, or what made me decide that?
Around this, so you got serious around the pandemic time,
Yes.
and a lot of things closing down, sessions not keeping anymore, everything that keep our little dancehall and the reggae going in
It's
Jamaica.
rough.
Yeah, what was it like?
It's been rough, but I'm a very positive person, Debbion. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am a very positive person, and as I mentioned earlier, I do not like to focus on the negative. So if my aim is to become a musician, a superstar, a celebrity of any sort, if that is my aim and that is my goal, regardless of the obstacles or the hurdles, it's not going to stop me. I'm just going to keep pushing, and that is it. Even though there's a pandemic and enough people going to say, oh, this is a wrong time for you to choose music for you. But for me, maybe it's the right time because it makes me push harder. You know, it makes me go after it harder. And since the pandemic, a lot more opportunities have arisen for me. So maybe it wasn't a bad thing, me choosing to go this hard in the pandemic after all.
What are some of the achievements or major steps that you believe that you have made during this, since that time?
Since the pandemic?
Yeah.
For sure, I've recorded a lot more songs that I believe are going to be great hit songs. And when I put them out and you guys hear them, it has also helped me to develop better writing skills. Crazy enough, I've networked with a lot more people in the business. I've learned a lot more about the business of music, which is something that is very important. And I think ladies, and not just ladies, everybody that is trying to make it in the music industry, you need to know also that it's not just about the populace or the popularity of the music. It's also very important for you to learn about the business side of the music. That's where you make the money. And as we all know, music is an investment. When you're doing music, you have to spend on recording, distribution, videos, all of that stuff. So you don't want to be investing money in something and not earning. Because yes, we love the music. It's our passion. It's our joy. But at the end of the day, you want to also be making money from something that you're investing in. So I learned a lot about the business side of the music, you know, set up myself better, put a lot of important things in place for when things start to go the right way for me, you know, I can be earning. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and from the pandemic, I'm not tell a lie, a lot more than when there wasn't a pandemic.
Well, that's cool. Guess what? Many up and coming artists, they want to get the manager and they want the people to run the business, but they don't go ahead to learn the different areas. So then that's why we see in the media people saying, oh, him robbed me, she robbed me, she this, she that. But
yes, and if you check that too, you'll see that a lot of the times these persons were young. You know, when they get the managers, they start out very young, and because they really want it so bad, the vulnerability. That's a big word, the vulnerability, yes, of wanting to become the artist or the superstar or the celebrity. They feel this person come along and they sell them a dream and they just hop on it. Oh, he knows what's best. You know, I will do my part, just do the recording. I don't have to worry about anything else, because my manager is going to take care of this and that and everything. And that's how you get robbed. You have to know the business. You have to know a little bit about what you're doing to know if somebody really have your back or they're robbing you. And that's something that I remember when I told one of my brethren, I'm looking to see if I see the book. It's somewhere near because I always keep it close. I told one of my friends that I'm making a conscious decision to go all the way in with music. And the first thing he did was get me a book. Everything you need to know about the music business. That's a big up yourself. Thank you for that book. I still have it.
That's a gift.
Yes, the leaf them no doggy is not it crispy, and it's not just sitting there. I actually made a conscious decision to read that book, and I read it. I learned everything that I need to know about marketing, managers, the business side of the business. Yeah, so as I said, that's a big up yourself. The best gift you could have ever give me. Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, big up Zaza. That's a gift for real.
It wants to the book, you know, they be at it big if they know it. Everything you need to know about the music business. And I would implore other young upcoming artists, if you can grab that book, get your hands on it, because it is very informative and it can teach you a lot of things that you need to know for real about the music business. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get robbed blind, and all your hard work is just going to go down the drain. People just are going to know your name if you get big, but you won't be earning. And that's not cute. At 2021, no. We all want the big bands. We want the hills. We want the investments. We want all of these things. Let's set up the business part and make the things straight and legit.
Yeah, so you can live comfortable.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I see that Tanya Stephens is one of your influences, and we know that when it comes on to Tanya, she's a big time tourist storyteller. When you listen to her music, how
Yes.
has listening to Tanya prepared you in your writing?
It has. Tanya is one of my biggest influences in music. I remember growing up listening, I wish I could have treat me like you. And one thing I realized when I'm a lyricist, I love to listen to artists. Some people like the beat, some people like the lyrics. I am the person that is in tune with the lyrics, you know, what the artist is saying, what they're trying to express. And I remember when growing up listening to Tanya Stephens, most, if not all of her songs were story writing. You know, and I remember how connected I felt to her music based on that. So it kind of helped me to kind of, you know, stir myself in that direction when writing my music. Always have a topic, like a story going on, so people, you know, get the imagination going and take the listener on a journey with you throughout the song. And so definitely that's how her music has influenced me and my writing. Because you do know music, right?
Say it again.
You do know I write my music.
Yeah, man, for sure. I said it in the beginning. I said Alicia Amor is a songwriter, singer-songwriter.
Well, just so then
yeah, and that's always a plus, because sometimes you have artists with the talent, but when it comes on to the writing and putting the thing together, they don't have it, you know, and sometimes they don't want the writer, because I don't know if they feel like it takes away from who they are as an artist. But
well, I don't have a problem with working with a writer. You understand? But I feel like when I write, I am expressing it's either I'm expressing my life story or something that I see happening around me. So I give you the story from my eyes, from my perspective, you know, so I feel more connected with what I am singing and with what I am saying, so I can deliver better in the studio because this is my story. You understand? So I don't have a problem with writing with somebody, you know, or even taking a song from somebody, but I would definitely have to connect with it. But I wouldn't want somebody to be writing for me 100%. I need to have say so in my art.
So with the Bedroom Sugar, it was 100%. You hear the name Bedroom Sugar?
No, Bedroom Saga. Bedroom Saga.
Oh, I read that
Bedroom
wrong.
Saga.
It looked like my mind just, you know, this sugar and this love.
Don't worry, what it is.
I want to hear about the bedroom sugar.
It's basically Bedroom Sugar, but it's really Bedroom Saga.
Okay,
talk about it, Debbion.
Tell me about that that second signal.
Okay, well, Bedroom Saga is just an expression, as I said before, you know, somebody make you feel good, and it's just me expressing about, you know, the feelings that person give me when they put me in a particular position, you understand? So as you know, Saga in Jamaica means story, so it's like a bedroom story, you understand? So it's my bedroom story. I'm telling you a little bedroom story about what happened in my bedroom. It's an expression of what happened in that particular moment.
All right, so tell the audience how they can find this particular song.
Bedroom Saga is on all musical streaming platforms, your Spotify, your Deezer, SoundCloud, and the video is also on my YouTube channel, which is Alicia Amor Vivo.
Okay, perfect. What would you say is your ultimate musical dream?
Oh, to make it internationally, as all artists should aim for. You know, I dream to make it internationally, to perform on big stage on big stages with huge crowds, you know, when people look like ants to the stadium big and it's packed. That's my ultimate dream, and I will get there.
And what is your ultimate collab?
My ultimate collab, internationally or?
You could do both locally and then internationally.
Locally. But it's hard for choosing because I love music so much, and there is so many artists that I love, but definitely Vibes Cartel locally. I feel like me and Vibes Cartel can do a nice song and Skilly Bang. Yeah, and Dexter.
Oh.
Oh, and Popcorn.
And Popcorn. Okay.
Yeah, Cartel, Skilly Bang, Dexter Daps.
And Popcorn.
Yeah, Popcorn.
And then internationally, outside of Jamaica.
Internationally, I would really, really want to do a song with Summer Walker.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
I think she's truly talented.
I love Summer Walker. I really love Summer Walker. And then the more music I put out, the more you'll understand why I say Summer Walker. But right now I'm focusing a lot on the dancehall aspect of things. But as time goes by, you'll understand why I say Summer Walker.
For sure.
I'm also a singer, and a lot of people don't know that I can really sing, you know. So that side, that part of my talent will be exposed soon.
Yeah, because how you could be a church girl and can't sing, girl, and choir and all these things.
It started from the choir, you know. It started from the choir.
That's awesome. So I do ask a lot of my guests this, and I'm gonna drop it on you too. What's 5 things about Alicia Amor that you think people don't know and they should know?
People don't know. I think a lot of people don't know that I am an introvert. But I love my yard. But not tell a lie. And I feel like a lot of people feel like I'm a party girl, and that's a misconception of who I am. Yes, I do go out and enjoy myself from time to time, but I don't live in the streets. I am not out there every single day, especially now a curfew. I'm not running from no police. No police not put me in no jeep because I just love the in the streets so much. That is a misconception, people. And I'm saying it now because a lot of people always say, you love road, man. I'm just like, when I'm in the streets, I'm handling my business.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of people think that. So I'm an introvert. I love me hand. Don't get it twisted. I am a lover. I have a lot of love to give. And that explains why I come off as being so guarded a lot, because I know that people are demons, you know, and people can take advantage of your kindness, you know, and your love. But so you might not get that first impression, but the reason for that is because I have so much love to give, you know. 3, I'm at 3 now, right? I'm
at 3.
He's a nerd, Debbion. I couldn't be no different from a nerd. But the way my granny raised me, I couldn't escape it. I'm a nerd. But 4 is a bad girl. Don't mess yourself. Nobody
a bad girl nerd.
Get it twisted. As me would defend myself straight all the way. Don't get it twisted. All right. 5. But that's something that is a great mother, but I think everybody will know I'm supposed to know that. So I'll choose something else. I think everybody that knows me is supposed to know that I'm a great mom. 5. Something that nobody don't know about me.
But should know.
I can cook.
Ooh, yes, girl. What is your favorite dish to prepare?
Rice and peas, fried chicken with some vegetable, fried plantain on the side. What else? And stew peas.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. Fried plantain on the side. When it ripe, when it have the little,
softness.
The little softness
sweet with a bite tonight.
Yes, tastes like candy.
That's me. That's me.
This was definitely an enlightening conversation. I enjoyed talking to you. I enjoy talking to you on the phone. I enjoy watching your lives. So when you say that you're loving and you're this and you're that, like, it shows without you even saying.
True.
You know, it does. And I'm assuming that your daughter is just as lovely as you are. So continue being that great mom that you are. Continue striving for your goals. And We wish you all the best, that you may get your Summer Walker collab, that you might get your Popcorn, your Vibes Cartel, your Dexter Daps, and your Skilly Bang. I mean, just all the best to you.
Thank you. I will get it. I believe I will.
And
I
that's all
say
you
that
need.
much confidence.
That's all you need, to be confident in yourself and
Yes.
knowing that, you know, what is fear can be unfear.
Yes, I'm manifesting it.
Right. That's exactly how it is. So thank you for joining me today, Alicia, and One Love, and we will be in touch.
Yes, and I just want to say to everybody, you can find me on Instagram. My IG is Alicia Amor Music. Go over there, you know, follow my page, like up my pictures, and also subscribe to my Vivo channel, Alicia Amor Music. I have a new song coming out real soon. It's called Money Every Day. I know you're not gonna love it. So just jump over to YouTube, subscribe, listen to the music that I have there. If you don't know me, you know me now. Yeah, Debbion, big up yourself. Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure having a wonderful conversation with you. Definitely keep in touch. I love your energy. Keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep inspiring women. I see that's what you're doing here. It's a beautiful thing, and don't let nobody deter you from what you're doing. Woman power all the way. Alicia Amor said that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to listen to Bedroom Sugar / Bedroom Saga.
And Anger the Ride. You can check out Anger the Ride too. That's a little raunchy.
All right. No problem, Mama. Again, thank you and one love.
You too. Bye, everybody.
If you've made it this far, that really only means that we're at the end of another conversation. But just before you roll into the next episode, it's time for you to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Catch you on the next episode.